is to have you be able to, by the end of today, I want you to be able to write decimals as fractions and percents. So I'm going to give you a decimal, and I want you to be able to write it as a fraction and write it as a percent. Okay? It's relatively easy. Okay. Decimal as a percent. Well, you made percents decimals before, right? Well, what did you do? When you had a percent, let's say you had 85%, and I told you to write it as a decimal, what did you do? Just moved it 2 spots, 1, 2, right there, from the end, right? You moved it 2 spots and you dropped this. Well, what do you suppose if you have this as a decimal and you want to make it a percent? What do you do? Move it 2 spots to the right and add a percent symbol, like this. 1, 2. Add a placeholder and add a percent symbol. Tough one, right? You got to move it 2 spots to the right from where it is. Okay? So, danger. What if it's 7.3 as the decimal, and I want that as a percent? There's going to be some of you that are going to want to do this. That's 73%. No, that's not right. You got to move it over 2 spots, right? So it's 730, so you move it over to the right 2 spots, add your placeholder, add a percent symbol. It's 730%. Okay? Danger. What are we going to do here? This is. What is that as a percent? Hunter? From where it is, move it over 2 spots. Don't overthink it. It's just as easy as it seems. 16%. 1, 2, boom. Add a percent symbol. 16%. Easy. When we move our decimal, this is what we're doing. Oh, I almost tripped. This is what we're doing. It says use place value. Okay, well, we're using place value. When we move the decimal, all we're doing is moving it, Corbin, right? What is this as a percent? Xander? $41.18. You just move it over 1, 2 spots. 41.18%. So wherever the decimal is, move it over 2 spots, you've got your percent. By the way, what does percent mean? The word percent. I said it in my video on Thursday. What does percent mean? Out of 100. Out of 100. What is this one as a percent? Corbin. Gotta move the decimal over to the right 2 spots. When I move it over 2 spots, where's the decimal end up? In between the 6 and the 7, so what is that? 6.7%. There you go. Simple enough. Oh, jeez. I think we're enough. 90, right? Where are we at? Let's look at this. Okay. Now, let's go from fractions to percents. There's two ways to do it. Okay? Two ways, Corbin. Two ways to turn a fraction into a percent. Way number one works sometimes. Way number two works every time. Okay? Do you remember us turning fractions to decimals? And then we had two ways. Remember? Way number one works every time. Way number two works, or I'm sorry, way number one worked some of the time. Way number two worked every time. Okay? Well, way number one. First, I'm going to show you way number one. Two ways. First way. All you got to do is get the denominator to be out of 100, remember? Because that's what percent means. It means out of 100. So what do I multiply top and bottom by to get it to be 100? 4. Times 4 here, times 4 here, we end up with 36 over 100, which means 36%. Right? That's way number one. Works some of the time. It doesn't work when you have this. Why? 18 doesn't go into 100, does it? So we need another way. Any guesses on what the other way is? What's the other way? Xander. How about turn it into a decimal? Once it's a decimal, we know how to do that, right? All we do is move the decimal over to the right 2 spots, add a percentage, and we got it, right? So just turn it into a decimal. How would I turn this fraction into a decimal? What would I do? Do you remember turning fractions into decimals? What do I do? How do I do it? It's a division problem, right? 6 divided by 18. Add this, 18 goes into 60 how many times? 4. Not 5, 3. 3, we got 3 times 8, which is 4, and a 2, there's a 5 there. Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What's going to happen? Okay. So this is going to be 3, 3, and we know that 3 is repeating, right? We have a decimal, right? What's my 1, 2, so we got 33, oh, that's not a 3. 33%. It's actually 33, I should do this right. Let me do this right. 33.3 repeating percent. See that? Yes, there can be a decimal. Way number one, look at it. What happens way number one? You can times it by 5 and get 100, right? Times 5, we end up with 15 over 100, which equals 15%. Way number two is what? Divide what? Top divided by bottom. 3 divided by 20. Add a decimal. It's going to go in there one time. Minus 20. Just add a 0, bring it down. 20 goes on 100, 5 times. 15%, because we got this decimal, so we move it over 1, 2 spots, add a percent symbol, there you go. Okay? So way number two works every time. Way number one only works when you can get 100. Make sense to you? One year, 3 out of 50, or 3/50ths of people, 3 out of 50 people who bought new cars, the cars were yellow. What percent of people that bought new cars bought yellow cars? Well, you should be able to look at that and figure out what the percentage is. What's the percentage? Dylan? 6%, because if you multiply the top and bottom both by 2, you end up with 6 over 100, which is 6 out of 100, which is 6%. If you didn't recognize that, what could you do? Jack? Divide top by bottom. 3 divided by 50, you would end up with a 0.06, which is 6%. Okay? So, I have a homework assignment for you. I'll look it up. Write this down. Your homework is page 387. 12 to 62 even. 12 to 62 even. Page 387. 12 to 62 even.